Book haul. British 1930s to 1950s vintage paperbacks. Hi, I'm Gary Levisi, and we're going to look at a book haul from last couple of days. And it was some nice books that I picked up at a mysterious bookshop in Manhattan in New York City. These are not rare books. They're not really expensive books, but they're British and they're from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and they're uncommon these days. Actually, some of them were bought at one time from Murder One bookstore in London, which was run by Maxim Jakubowski, probably 25 years or so ago by a collector or fan, and then they were sold to the Mysterious Bookshop, which is run by Otto Penzler, which is a great store on Warren Street in New York. And it's like every other bookstore. When you go to a great bookstore, you never know what you're going to find. And I found a bunch of stuff, these books, and I'm really happy to have found them. The prices were reasonable, and they're not in great condition, but they're pretty old, and you don't see them. They're not that common these days. And I'm going to go through them and show you them, and hope you enjoy looking. So without further ado, we're going to take a look. These are 30s, 40s, and 50s British crime paperbacks. They're White Circle pocket novel. This is Black Dragon by J.M. Walsh. They're published by Collins in the UK, a mystery story. A lot of them have the same style, the same format. They don't have a lot of illustrations, illustrated covers. Some of them have the British Bobby, the policeman, on the cover. They use this color, this purple color, and this is just a spine, just to give you an idea. The back covers often have ads for Bravington jewelry. They're sometimes pretty worn, but they're scarce. J.M. Walsh was a writer of spy and espionage novels, and some of his novels also included Secret Service agents and other spies. And here's the Murder One book sticker. At the time, it was £2.50 pence, or £2.50. That's 25 years ago. Some of these books have Peter Cheney. They have a little illustration of Peter Cheney. Some of them, Agatha Christie, have a little illustration of Agatha Christie on the cover. But most of them, they're the same style, the same format. In a way, kind of boring, but these are classic mystery paperbacks. Gallows for a Fool by Charles Franklin. You see the same kind of style. This is an older one. This one might be, some of these are reprints and they're dated, but most of them are not. Most of them have no dates in them. They're from around the war period of World War II, sometimes slightly before, sometimes slightly after. Another one, this is a leisure crime novel library, Death Overseas by Charles Barry, kind of a cooler series. The Gunman, little illustration. But this is the time when Penguin and Alan Lane had a big influence in the British paperback publishing field in the 30s and 40s, where they didn't have illustrations on the cover, and so a lot of paperback publishers in those days didn't use illustrations, or very limited illustrations. These are numbered. This is number 9, Leisure Library Company Limited. Again, another ad for jewelry or and later on there would be ads for non-smoking. The Crime Club was another, The Dark Ship by Hulbert Footner. This is a fourth printing from 1940, Crime Club. A lot of them use this design, and that was number 104. And it's White Circle Crime Club. In fact, there's a White Circle. This is a White Circle also. They just had different series. Some of these have dates, some of them don't. There's a lot of them with series. They're interesting. The Crime Book Society series, A Close Call by Eden Philpotts. I think Eden Philpotts is a well-known or collectible author. I'm not sure who it is. This is the 39,000. It's number 64 in the series, the Crime Club Society series. The spine and the back cover lists all the books in the series up to number 67. It's a pretty interesting series. Again, there's the illustrations on these books. You know, it's nothing to write home about for collectors today. People like today like the good girl art. They like stuff that's more violent. But these had a certain charm and a certain interesting look to them. Then these were early books from the 30s and 40s that are little seen today, and they're some of them are authors that have been forgotten, or I don't know too much about them, but others are quite well known, and some of them are collected and read today. The Case of the Tea Cozy's Aunt, Anthony Gilbert, another White Circle Crime Club. So it's Collins' White Circle pocket novel. I'm going to go a little quick because we have about 50 of them to go through, and they're pretty cool.
Do all the white circles have white circles?
Yes, the white circles have white circles.
Okay.
Let's see. Thank you for that comment.
No, I'm just asking.
That's all right. Ask questions. Ask away. Welcome Death by Glenn Daniel, Penguin crime novel from 1962. And again, the Penguins didn't have, you had the early colorful penguins that had no illustration. Then you have this kind of an illustration, which is not much, but you can see they're moving in the direction of illustrating their books. A Woman of Destiny by Stephen Madcock is a fifth printing from 1958. Collins mystery, again with the cop, the constable, and it's Murder One sticker. White circle with the white circle. Danger Zone by J.M. Walsh. White circle number 303. There's no date on this. Again, J.M. Walsh spy espionage novels, and just to let you know, it's a mystery story. And it's number 303. Most of them have numbers on the spine in this series. The Man from Everywhere and New Haven, Dnep by Simonon is a Penguin book. First published in 1952 by Penguin. Here's the style of Penguin that we are most familiar with in their green mystery and crime series, Penguin books with the penguin down there. This was a 2 and 6 price. Then there's the in the 60s 3 and 6, a little more of an illustration. They're moving into the illustrated cover area, but slowly, very, very slowly. Number 361, another White Circle thriller, No Other Victim by Charles Franklin. School for Murder by Harry Carmichael. Number 275 in the Collins White Circle Crime Club. Crime Club series. I'm just going through these as I find them. Cherry Tree Books was another series. This is number 140. Their books had very little cover illustrations until later on. The Stolen Home Secretary by L.R. Grimble. They used this black and red cover design with the cherry tree kind of logo. King's Enemies by J.M. Walsh is another of his spy crime books. This is number 281. Not a lot of not a lot of great cover art on these books, but it's the authors. These are classic mystery novels. All of these are mystery novels. So if you're into classic British mysteries, you might find some of these of interest, and certainly some of them you've never seen before, especially some of these early editions. Another Cherry Tree book, number 120, The Guilty House by Charles Kingston. And again, there's no date. Guilty House. On the inside front cover, there's a little bit about the book. On the back cover, there's a list of Cherry Tree books. And some of these were used. These were published during the war years, and some of them it tells you to send the book to a British service. Military service person overseas in France or in other areas fighting against the Germans. Penguin Books, The Moving Toy Shop by Edmund Crispin is a second printing from 1960. And the back cover has a photo of the author. We get into some of the some different books. Collins White Circle pocket novel by Collins. These were the British editions. They also published Collins White Circle books in Canada, which is a whole different series of books, different numbers, and they were Canadian editions, and they were illustrated with some decent art on some of them. This is from 1946, The Dead Man Laughs by Victor Gunn. So this is the Canadian White Circle edition. Numbers up here and at the bottom of the spine. And the back cover talks about the book a little bit. Again, it's Collins White Circle Crime, White Circle Pocket Edition. From Canada this time, not from England.
It's a low-key little circle.
It's a low-key little circle, yeah. Another publisher was Arrow Books. This is, don't know the number, Arrow number 299. Sidney Horler, Tiger Standish Comes Back. This is from there's no date on this. This is a 50s Arrow book, illustrated, and the number is on the spine up here. It's a pretty wore-out book, but still, I'm glad to have it. You don't see these at all that often. There's one Canadian Harlequin book in here, another Sydney Horler, The Return of the Nighthawk, and that's from 1958. It's a Canadian Harlequin book. So you have a Canadian White Circle, British Red Arrow, and a Canadian Harlequin book, number 425 from 1958. Number on the spine, back cover. Sydney Horler was a famous, well-known British crime suspense author. Not well known these days. I don't think he was that much printed in the United States, but in Britain and Canada, he was well known and well read. Another Canadian White Circle edition, number 527, is Operation Conquest by Berkeley Gray. It's from 1952. Berkeley Gray, his hero was Norman Conquest, and basically taken after the name of the Norman Conquest of 1066 of the United Kingdom of England, and so Operation Conquest. Berkeley Gray had a lot of Norman Conquest novels. British White Circle thriller, The Half-Open Door by Berkeley Gray again. A Canadian White Circle from, this is number 60, a little early on, this is a second printing from 1945, and it's 6 Feet of Dynamite, again by Berkeley Gray. And it's a Collins White Circle pocket novel, number 60 on the spine. The back cover, they're 25 cents in Canada. Oh, this is great. This to all armchair detectives. White Circles are the perfect solution for all you whodunit fans. White Circles are small, easy to carry, so you can take your suspense with you whenever you go. While away those tedious moments on buses and streetcars. Pull out a White Circle and match your wits with the most famous mystery writers, because White Circle pocket novels are the best in detective fiction. Reprints of popular crime club selections and best-selling mysteries. White Circles are economical. You can buy 8 or 10 for the original price of one. And no need to worry about exhausting the supply, for more and more White Circles are being published, a never-ending list of thrills and suspense. Yep, they published a few hundred in the series, so it was a popular series, second to basically Harlequin in Canada. Berkeley Gray was very popular. This is 1945. A White Circle, Canadian White Circle book, number 244. The Gay Desperado, Berkeley Gray. It's a Norman Conquest novel, and the Gay Desperado, gay does not mean then what it means today. So it's totally different nomenclature. There's other books. Hodder and Stoughton did the Yellow Jackets, and this is a second printing, 1945, Calling Bulldog Drummond. Gerald Fairley, and the author of Sapper, has a nice guy with a machine gun there, and it's let me just see, it's 2 shillings. There's number C188, and on the back cover this some of the other books in this series. These series, the Hodder and Stoughton, they were called Yellow Jackets because they were all yellow covers, And then as time went, and they're kind of a little bit bigger than the paperbacks, almost digest size. And as years went on, they had illustrated covers, and this is one of the with an illustration on the cover. Here's another one, Sidney Horler, Nighthawk Mops Up, and this is a second printing from 1952, and it's a woman in a bondage cover with a guy with a gun, and then you open it up inside, and same kind of little illustration. The Sidney Horler crime suspense novel, and this is the second printing. The first printing was probably the Yellow Jackets, different authors and books in the series. This is the second printing. The first printing was probably all yellow with no illustration. Second printing years later has the second printings have illustrations, so they're moving, influenced by the American paperbacks. Penguin number 1303, Holy Disorders by Edmund Crispin, is a second printing. It's a reprint from 1960. Beautiful condition book. Trying to find any of these have dates. Most of them don't have dates. The first printings, the early printings, are from the war years, and they don't have any dates. 50 Pounds Marriage Case by John G. Brandon is a Cherry Tree number 68, and it's got the Murder One sticker, which I would keep on there because it's kind of a historical, very famous bookstore that doesn't exist anymore, and it's a kind of a historical remembrance. And it has number 68 on the spine. On the back cover, Cherry Tree Titles lists a lot of the books, and again, you can send these to servicemen in the fighting the war. So these are during wartime. Now I'm going to move these out of the way because the pile's getting a little high. I'm going to go through Siren in the Night by Leslie Ford, number 159. It's a Collins White Circle Crime Club. And A Word of Six Letters by Herbert Adams. This one does not have a number, but it's a fourth printing, and it's from 1938. So these were early. This is a fourth printing from 1938. First printing is from 1936, and this might be from the 30s also. There's no date on it. Again, with J.M. Walsh, we have a White Circle Pocket novel number 297, Face Value. Another one in his spy crime series, Face Value by J.M. Walsh. And you're probably getting tired of seeing this guy, but he's on a lot of these books. In fact, he's on the next one, Below the Belt by David Hume. This is from a sixth printing from 1957, Collins White Circle Mystery. First printing was from 1934. Really nice condition copy. Again, a lot of these books don't have much to do with cover art. You know, the cover art is kind of nothing to write home about, but it's the age of the books, the scarcity of the books, and the authors. I mean, these are, for a lot of people, these are very collectible authors, traditional classic British mystery novels. For other people, they may not be interested at all in them. Here we have a Run for Cover by John Wellcome, Penguin Crime number 1881 from 1963. And here are the penguins again. The little illustration, a guy smoking a cigarette. It's supposed to be like a tough guy. And the spine, the back cover. This was originally a library book. Here's the author. It's the Lehigh University Library, July 1963. And it's even got the pocket. Somebody took it out in 1969, the last time. 2 people took it out, October 63 and 1969, I believe that is.
Was that you?
65, no. No, I don't read this kind of stuff.
You have the book.
I read more hard-boiled stuff, but I do like this stuff. Next one is a Hodder. Hodder Stratton became hot, just plain Hodder, Hodder. This is number C273. No Sleep for McCall by Gerald Fairley. And this is a third printing from 1957. Actual good girl art, bad girl, femme fatale cover art. Unbelievable. And next one, another Canadian White Circle. 1944, number 93, pretty cool. The 19th Hole Mystery by Herbert Adams, a golfing murder mystery with golf cover art. That's pretty interesting. Collins White Circle Mystery, no number. The Secret Service Girl by J.M. Walsh. This is the 7th printing from 1938. 7th printing from 1938. First printing was from 1933. So these were published and originally came out in 33, 34, around there. They came out actually before Allen Lane and Penguin books. So it's interesting to note that. Nice book. Secret Service Girl is another one of Walsh's spy espionage thrillers. And these are supposed to be pretty good. I haven't read them, but I've heard some good things about them, and I may read a few of them. Conquest Marches On. Another Berkeley Gray Norman Conquest novel. Right now you must be getting tired of seeing this Bobby. Well, you know what? We're going to have another one. White Circle Pocket novel number 289. She Fell Among Actors by James Warren. Again, no publication date. No publication date. But it has an interesting ad in the back for Mars. Mars Are Marvelous. This has got to be during the war years. All of these have to be during the war years. Most of them. Penguin book number 730. Verdict of 12 by Raymond Postgate. He was a very collectible or a very well-known author. This is a second Penguin printing from 1951, and it's still in the old style. Coming along to some other interesting items. Let me do these. Another Berkeley Gray, 7 Dawns to Death. Number 352. No date. Where Is She Now by Lawrence Meinel. White Circle Thriller number 377. Again, no date. Here's some interesting ones. This is John Long, Foursquare book. The Northern Crack by Nat Gould. This is number 122 in the series. There's no date on this one. This is early. This is World War II, maybe earlier. Nat Gould wrote. He wrote a lot of horse racing books, mysteries set in the horse racing world. And it's number 122. There's Hutchison Pocket Library was the publisher of this series, and list of books they published: fiction, crime, and detective, romance, and even westerns in this series. They all had this similar style. In England, in those days, that was the way the books were. They did not want to put illustrations on the cover to interfere with the seriousness of the written word, and they saw it as an interference. And I don't know. America, we had more of the pulp tradition, and we liked illustrations and the best illustrations on the covers of books. This is an interesting series of books. I have two of them, the Toucan novels. This is 11 for Danger by Angus McVicker. This is number 57. Toucan, again, no date. Very cool series with the big toucan on there. Yellow. Most of these I've seen are yellow. The earlier ones, some of them have blue and green covers with the same format. And
they're trying to confuse people that they're buying penguins instead of toucans.
Toucan, penguin. Yes, it is definitely. Here's the Toucan Pocket Library. There's 68 in the series up to this point. No date. These books had dust jackets, and I have one here. With a dust jacket. The Crooked Finger by Angus McVicker. Okay, so it's the same guy. This is number 30, and again, no date. But you can see, here's the book. It has a dust jacket. Dust jacket's a little torn. I'll show you the back. This is some of the books, the first 14, and the dust jacket, number 15 to 32. And these are really cool, really delicate, really tough to find books in dust jacket. Early Penguins had dust jackets. Some other books had dust jackets. Back to Berkeley Gray again. Dual Murder, number 395, White Circle. The Broken Sword by Arthur Mills, White Circle 273, both British. Again with the Murder 1 sticker on it. A Penguin, Margaret in Court by Simenon. This is Penguin C225. And it's first Penguin printing from 1963. Simenon. And it's a Margaret novel, Margaret in Court. And here's the author on the back cover. The Penguins were trying to keep their elegant status. They did use photos and designy photos and cover art. Another White Circle from Canada, 227. from 1945. Blonde for Danger by Berkeley Gray. Another Norman Conquest mystery. He wrote a lot of Norman Conquest mysteries. White Circle number 94, Head You Live by David Hume. Collins White Circle, Canadian, from 1944. And another Collins White Circle, number 248, British, third printing from 1940. The first printing was from 1938. So this is the third printing from 1940. Terror in the Thames by A.D. Devine. So this is 1940. This is 44. I think 45. So we're talking about books. They're pretty old now. And this is the last one we're going to look at is an interesting one. It's a British Collins White Circle pocket novel, number I think it's 388. A little hard to make out. There is a date on it. It was first published in 1943. This is the Services edition from 1946, right after the war. So this is a White Circle. I've never seen this before. Looks just like these, but this is a White Circle Services edition for the military, and it says Services edition down here. It also says here that the surplus stock of this edition has been purchased by W.H. Smith & Son Limited for sale at 1 shilling. William M. Collins, Sons and Company Limited. So Collins, the publisher, sold their overstock to W.H. Smith booksellers, and they sold these for 1 shilling at the time.
And why does it have to say that sticker that they bought it?
Because they, on the back, this book must not be resold. So it must not be resold for a profit. Also, there's a special back cover. This is printed on the book, so it's not a sticker. And it says, this edition is produced for the Services Central Book Depot, Artillery House, Handel Street, London, for circulation to the fighting forces of the Allied nations. This book must not be resold. So this gives Collins and W.H. Smith, this sticker that's applied to the book, some kind of justification that they can sell it, and that it's an overstock of this book. But it's still a services edition. I've never seen one of these for the military services. This is 1946, so it's kind of interesting. And it also has a Murder One sticker on it. So this is selling for £3 at Murder One. About 25 or 30 years ago. So there you have a look at about 52 classic British mystery early vintage paperbacks. Not much to shout about as far as the cover art, because there's no good girl cover art except for maybe on a couple of them. Some of them don't even have much of illustrations at all, but they're all classic mystery authors, and a lot of people like to read these authors and still do, and some of their books are not often that easily found. These books are not often seen. They're not, I wouldn't say they're rare. I think they are scarce. They're not pricey books, big money books, or anything like that, but they're hard to find for people that like this kind of stuff and are looking for it, and they're very nice books. Some of these books were sold, again, say that they had the sticker from Murder One Books in London, and it's interesting that I bought these at Mysterious Bookshop in New York, and it's funny because years ago, I remember, I knew Maxim Jakubowski. He started Murder One Books in London, and he was kind of the British version of Otto Penzler and the Mysterious Bookshop in New York City. And while Otto has published an incredible amount of books under Mysterious Press and other imprints, and also edited an enormous amount of great books, and helped along a lot of great authors. Maxim, also in London, did a similar job like that with publishing books and showcasing books at Murder One, and editing anthologies. One of the anthologies he edited, this is one from a long time ago, from 1991, is New Crime 3, which actually has a story by me in it. It's funny that when this came out, I was told that, yeah, you have a story in it. And I said, there's no, my name isn't listed in the contents. And I kind of wrote in my name because I had a story on page 122. So I'm listed here in the copyright notices, and I'm listed here by Maxim in the introduction. Okay, and then the story on page 122, if I can find it. There's Dry Run, Hard-Boiled Crime, Bank Robbery Story. And that's the book is by Robinson in 1991. And kind of ties in with Murder One. And, Murder One was a store that doesn't exist anymore. And it was fondly remembered by old-time mystery fans and readers and collectors, and it was a great store. And the best thing about this is that finding these Murder One books is really cool, and finding them in Otto's Mysterious Bookshop is really great. I mean, it's great that the Mysterious Bookshop and Otto are still going strong, and they have a terrific store that you should all go and check out. And you never know what you're going to find there. I mean, I went there the other day and happened to find these, and you never know what you're going to find. So it's just kind of cool to find these old classic British mysteries. And hope you enjoyed this look at some off the beaten track stuff. And give us a like and a thumbs up, and tell your friends about this channel, and subscribe. And I'll see you the next time. Thanks a lot.